Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. We watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Daytona Aero Sport GTX boots available at RevZilla.com. Daytona Aero Sport GTX. Everyone in Europe's making their names longer. I keep yelling at them, they just keep doing it. But let me break this down for you. This is the Daytona. They are from Germany. They hand make, they just do boots in Bavaria. That's why I love them. They are top of the food chain in this regard. The Aero Sport GTX is a Gore-Tex 3/4 height, really more sport to sport commuting or sport touring oriented boot. Now, Daytona makes, in my opinion, the Rolls Royce of touring and adventure boots in their Roadstar collection. The Aero Sport is going to steal from that DNA, but it's also going to be closer to the $300 mark. So it's a little bit more suited for everyday riding and a little bit more attainable for what I would call the middle of the premium boot market. So if we look at it, you're looking at a boot that's going to be mid-height. It's still going to be greased, hydrophobic leather. It is still premium leather, although it's a little bit lighter weight leather than we see in some of the other higher-end Daytona family. But remember, you're investing in Gore-Tex, waterproof, breathable, guaranteed for life. There's an inner bootie in here that is fully, unzip it, dual zippers for convenience. This is full Gore-Tex all the way up to above the ankle. That's the big investment here. So you're looking at bomb-proof materials, handmade in Bavaria, incorporating the finest Gore-Tex materials to give you really, in my opinion, four-season sport and sport touring style riding or sport commuting. Now here's the big change, and it ties in with fitment. When we think about Daytona boots, they typically fit about a half size generous. We find the Aero Sport to fit a full size generous. So the size chart's going to say, hey, this is going to be an 11.5. I think that's a 45. We found it to be a 12.5. So use a size chart, go down a full size. Keep that in mind. If you're already wearing a pair of Daytona Roadstars, you're going to be the size down. Keep that in mind. Remember, we will ship for free over 39 bucks if you get the sizing wrong. But the other thing to keep in mind too is this is one of the wider Daytonas we've seen. So again, the width is a little bit wider and it's also soft. So when I tie that in with fit and comfort, this boot is going to be a 4 or 5 on the stiff scale when I consider a Daytona Roadstar like a 6.5, 7, which for a touring boot is still a little bit more walkable compared to super adventure touring boots that are going to be that 8, 9, or 10 of really stiffness. I think you could wear this under a pair of jeans and you could walk around in it every day. It's that responsive. It offers great tactile feel. But remember, if you're standing on the foot pegs, it's not going to work for you. This is really more sport tour, sport commuting oriented. So like I said, we'll ship for free over 39 bucks. What I'd love it for you to do though is click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the Aero Sport GTX. Now, if I dive in here, let's talk more about it. Hydrophobic premium cowhide. Remember, dually stitched throughout the entire boot. They do that. It's hand done in Bavaria, damn it. I love the fact that there's still great craftsmanship happening in Europe with these boots. Nubuck style leather, you can see that it's perforated back here. And that leather panel actually sits atop of the perforated panel back here to allow sweat to evaporate from your foot out through the Gore-Tex membrane. Again, Mother Nature can't get in, but the beauty is the breathability of the Gore-Tex membrane. As you start to sweat, even in summer weight riding times, you're going to allow that sweat to permeate out through the boot. If I zip it up, remember, big, beefy, coiled YKK zips on the inside and outside. If we rotate it around to the back, 3M Scotchlite, you have your reinforcement in the heel cockpit here. Lots of protection. This is going to be a CE-rated boot, so you have both ankles. We have great support at the heel here. In the front, I'm going to say that you have some toe support, but it's not as beefy and bomb-proof. But again, they were going for that, a little bit more of a sport orientation. You can see how I twisted around here, dually reset stitching on this big TPU that covers your shift panel area. So again, better longevity. On the inside of the boot, as I move my strap, another big beefy YKK zip that moves down, exposing a perf panel with hand stitching. Again, there's my Gore-Tex gaiter, goes all the way to the top. If we look at the inside of it, that is going to wick sweat away and allow it to evaporate out. The other thing to keep in mind, if we think about this compared to something like the Roadstar, which is nearly $100 or more investment, you see materials that are wicking, that have a mesh component to it. They're just a little bit more, they're a little softer, a little bit more congruent with the price point they're going for here. So again, there were certain things that are ultra luxurious as you go up that they did away with to keep it comfortable and functional. But again, you make some trade-offs, even though over $300, in my opinion, is expensive for a boot. You're making a big investment and you expect this to hold up well, which it will. Now, my other gripe with this boot, if we really look at it, I do have one other gripe. It's going to be this top flap that comes over. So we look at the boot, there's the circumference. Remember, the whole boot fits a bit big. And if you have a really dainty calf or ankle, you're gonna have some room to move. Now, if that was me, because I don't work out legs, you're gonna have my ankle in this boot coming up to my calf, which is not a big calf, And what you're gonna see is you're gonna wanna cinch it down and you're really gonna wanna ratchet it in. Now there's a big area of heavy duty Velcro here on the inside, but because this is stiff and has a form to it, you can't really cinch it down as far as you want. So it is a little bit looser at the top. Now they did that probably because if you're in a sport position, you're working on maybe even a set of mid or even rear sets on your bike, you're gonna wanna have the room to move there. But the way that they did it, there's no way to really cinch it down and get it closer to your ankle. So depending on the pants you're wearing, if you do start to get wet, you might have a higher opening at the top that would allow some water in. But that is one of the things to call out. It's the looseness at the ankle coupled with the fact that it does fit a full size big on the size chart, which really, if you just take your time and use the sizing correctly, take my advice, you'll get the sizing right. But that's really what you need to take into consideration. Now on the bottom, it is that Daytona style sole, which is a high grip sole here, multitude of different durometers and rubbers. And then what you're also going to get as well is it's a little bit more sport and refined because it is designed not for standing on the pegs, but to give you a little bit more tactile response in a more aggressive riding position. Now, all in, you're looking at, in my opinion, a premium mid-range or middleweight sport GTX sport touring boot. It's going to be true for a season, do everything well, has that great styling component. You can see it as it really permeates through this Daytona Aero sport boot. And again, I can't stress enough, I love the fact that there is a craftsmanship that goes into the Daytona line, which I know is a handful of people that have worked there for decades making these boots in Bavaria in Germany. And I love signing up for things like that where there's care, passion, and love put into these products. That is my endorsement of the Daytona line. The next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with my opinion, our opinion on the latest and greatest in the moto universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.